I'm Shauna Rappaport, Director of Engagement for Verge. We're here at Verge Hawaii, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Andrew Beebe. Andrew, thank you for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, Andrew, you work at Obvious Ventures in the world of venture capital, and what's interesting is that you also have a decade or so more of experience as an entrepreneur. Talk a little bit about that transition and the experience that you've brought as an entrepreneur into your work now.
Yeah, so this is sort of a third chapter for me. I was a tech entrepreneur, tech, like old school tech in the 90s, and then a clean tech entrepreneur in the 2000s, and now I'm doing venture. And my partners, I have two other investing partners, and we all come from entrepreneurial and operating backgrounds. And I feel like that's important. I think for entrepreneurs, it's valuable to have people who have actually been in the trenches helping them out. And so far, I think both in identifying and working with portfolio companies, it's been a nice backdrop to have because I've been in their shoes.
Yeah, well, in the context of this event as well, certainly relevant is that you were at NextEra for 2 years and were also involved in the HECO merger. What has been particularly interesting or poignant about bringing that experience to your experience here at Verge Hawaii this week?
Well, I mean, first of all, I should say that I was only slightly involved in the merger process, but I think that it's been a true statement from the beginning of that process that Hawaii is a postcard from the future, and I think it is so relevant to the transition that HECO and Hawaii have great support from a company like NextEra to build this next phase of 100% renewable. I am thrilled that Hawaii has decided to make that decision to go forward, and I think NextEra is going to support them a lot. We see progressive companies, in my opinion, and the work I do now, progressive companies like NextEra trying to invent that next wave of innovation. And then there are some people in the utility space who are probably not. They're probably holding on to old structures and ways of doing business. And I hope that we can identify the winners and get behind them and then sort of make sure that those people who aren't ready to move forward either get on the bus or get out of the way.
And what's the role that you see of innovation and early stage entrepreneurs in helping the state get to its 100% renewable energy mandate?
Oh, I think startups are going to be leading the way, whether NextEra owns HECO or not. I think that both HECO or NextEra directly will be relying on the innovators. A lot of the companies that we've seen here over the last couple of days at the conference, relying on those innovators to show them the path. The beauty is when you've got a massive test bed, R&D organizations within utilities do know how to plug stuff in and try them out. And I think that partnership is going to be what gets us to the right place.
Last question for you on more of a personal note. You've been at this for a while. Your work at Obvious now is focused on this concept of investing in world positive ventures. How optimistic are you that this is all going to work?
Well, all going to work is a pretty broad question, Shauna, but I think, here's what I know. I know that we invest in companies trying to solve the world's biggest problems. And if you do that well, I think that has to work, right? I think that tomorrow's big companies are not going to be just the next Instagram or the next online dating service or the next Uber for pets or whatever. I think the transformational businesses of our times are going to be the companies that solve massive systemic challenges. And that is going to work, and I think it's going to be startups and innovation that bring us those solutions.
Well, thank you for your leadership and your support of not just those companies, but the whole ecosystem, and for being with us and such a great ally of Verge. Andrew Beebe of Obvious Ventures. Thanks,
My
Andrew.
pleasure. Thanks.